Yesterday ended one of the biggest disappointments of my hunting life. I never expected to make it through that day with the tag still in my pocket. The buck I had spent so long thinking about and so many hours hunting finally offered the shot, and I muffed it. Then I had an entire day to kick myself. Up goes the roller coaster, and then down it crashes. Now it feels, as we head into the second day of the search, that the roller coaster will never go up again. The odds are slim as we head out, but Quentin and I start walking and hoping. Quentin found some blood along the side of this slope, and I mean, we're quite a long ways away from where that buck was, and this blood is coming at a pretty rapid pace. It doesn't look like liver or paunch blood to me. It looks like muscle. And these bucks, when they get to fighting, they tear each other up and they jab each other, and they do get some blood. And it's possible the neighbor hit a deer or something too. But either way, we're going to follow this blood trail in both directions until we figure out what direction the deer is going. I mean, we're right in the middle of the woods now. We could follow it a quarter of a mile that way and find out that it was going this way the whole time. So we're going to follow it out and just see what it is, if we can find it. My gut tells me that it's a buck that got beat up in a fight, because we're not real close to the neighbor, and that doesn't look like the same kind of blood that we had from the Big 7. But I mean, we can't walk past this without following it out to see where it leads. Well, that thing is shredded. Way up here. Look at that. Wonder how they did that. Well, with their antlers, I guess. We covered the entire area that we had planned on hitting today, so it's pretty much a wrap. Probably took us about 4 hours, maybe a little bit more than that, and like I said earlier, I think we've covered 150 to 160 acres total in the last 2 days. I'm going to say right now that the deer isn't dead. If he is dead, he died after we walked some of this yesterday. So, because he could have died, I guess, and then, you know, wound up in the same spot that we walked yesterday that we didn't walk today. But you can say that and keep walking the same ground every day for a month. But I'm going to say right now that the search is off. That, you know, we covered everything as thoroughly as we possibly could. I mean, I don't think there could have been a dead deer in there anywhere. We looked underneath every bush and next to every dead tree or down tree. So now I'm going to take a couple days off and try to recharge my battery and get a little bit of fire back in me to go after these deer again. I'm not going to hunt this deer for a while. I got too many bad memories now. So I've got other spots I can hunt and bucks that I had on my radar that I was not paying as much attention to because I really wanted to try to get this deer, this I call the Big 7. So it takes the wind out of your sails when you spend 26 days hunting one deer and then you get him at 30 yards and you can't put him on the ground. It's one thing if you bump him or whatever, but it's another thing if you hit him and then you can't recover him. That's pretty demoralizing. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you this season. I hope you're having good luck. It was a good rut so far. I mean, we're at the lull now, so let's recap a little bit. It's been, I would say weather-wise, one of the best that I've seen ever. I mean, just consistently good day after day after day for weather. We didn't have any days that were too warm. We didn't have any days that were brutally cold where it wasn't any fun to be out there. And, you know, I know a lot of guys shot nice deer this year. So good luck to you, and keep checking back. I'll I'll hopefully catch the tail end of the rut. A 100 miles to the west, Drake Lamb finally gets a break and heads out on a friend's farm to hunt. Drake has spent much of the season filming other hunters, but today he has the rare privilege to hunt a great property that is home to many mature bucks.
Today is November 14th and the weather has kind of warmed up, but we got 5 or 6 deer in here that we're gonna go after. We got some cold weather coming later on this weekend, so it should be pretty good. I think the rut's still pretty much in full force, so hopefully we can get in here clean. We got a little bit of a walk. We're gonna sit up on top of this big ridge of timber and hopefully catch these deer coming out to this food plot. So with any luck, hopefully we'll have one of them come by and it'll be a good night if anything else.
Dylan and I finally got set up. We'll be lucky to see any deer probably. I bet we spooked 15 to 20 deer that either bedded on this ridge. We spooked them out of the CRP coming in. There's not much we can do. We did have a little buck come in kind of behind us about 15 minutes ago. We got a fawn bedded right here behind us, so just gonna take what we got and hopefully here long when deer start moving, maybe we can get a shot at one of these bucks.
While Drake waits, 250 miles to the northeast in eastern Iowa, Matt Dykstra is hunting one of his best spots, a classic rut funnel.
Well, it's just after 4 o'clock. I had my second buck of the night cruise through here. It's definitely the movement I'm looking for. Is the bucks either working across the CRP or up this draw, and then coming right along the edge of the pond here. We just need a bigger one to do the same thing. Still got about an hour left, so we'll see what happens.
quick a season can do a complete 180. Last few days have been real tough. Just haven't been seeing any decent buck that I've been interested in putting my Iowa tag around. Had some decent encounters last night and this morning. Had a decent buck come right into the decoy this morning, and decided tonight to switch things up, come back to this pond set. We've had so many good hunts here over the past. I've killed my biggest buck to date just on the other side of it here, and we've had other numerous encounters with really nice bucks. You know, it just sets up perfect for catching bucks cruising, because this draw starts to narrow down up here by this pond. Especially this time of the year, once bucks are starting to break away from does trying to find new ones. It just sets up absolutely perfect to catch bucks cruising. And we had 3 of them tonight, all come right into this little corner of this timber right here by the pond. And they just worked just perfect tonight. This has definitely come to be one of my favorite tree stand locations. Gotta love it, sweet November. Doesn't get any better than that. Well, November 14th didn't disappoint. We finally got a buck on the ground. It's been a real tough grind for us. This is my first buck in 3 years, so I was definitely ready to send an FMJ towards one. It was definitely great just to feel that excitement of having a plan all come together. This is what November's all about, spending time out in the outdoors with friends and family, and I couldn't be happier to wrap my tag around this Iowa buck tonight.
Back in southern Iowa, the action around Drake's stand picks up. There's a good buck. Still good buck coming right here, right here. They're gonna come right here.
Just wait. Wait a second. He's tall brown. He's got tall brown. You think? Dude, he's got tall brown. Okay. Oh yeah. You think he is? Do you? I don't know. Yeah, he's old. He looks old. Doesn't he?
Brett. Brett.
Never seen anything like that, dude. That was insane, dude. That was insane. Give me something, brother. Let's go, dude. A deer came in chasing a doe. For whatever reason, she got right here and kind of got spooky. And he kind of stood there. I mean, he was at 15 yards. And I never had a shot right here. And she kind of worked off back towards the CRP. And he just kind of turned, and I tried stopping him once or twice, and he just kept going. I finally got him, I don't know, it was probably 25 yards. And smoked him. I mean, he was just pouring blood. I mean, we could hear him just pouring blood right underneath of us. Well, we're not gonna waste any time, dude. Let's go. We're gonna get down and go get him. I mean, I've been filming probably 20 days in a row, and this is the first time I've been able to get out and actually hunt during the rut, so. That's crazy, man. Give me some.
The blood on this thing is crazy. Big ol' head on him. That is awesome, man. That is so sweet. Alright, well, the track job was non-existent. As you guys saw, he expired probably less than 10 yards away from our tree stand, and man, I couldn't be happier. I mean, just he came in dogging that doe right down the trail, and big old mature bruiser Iowa buck. I mean, he's got scars on his face and just tore up all around his neck. I mean, this is what November's all about, you know. I mean, this is what we all live for.
Never seen anything like that, dude. That was insane, dude. That was insane. Give me some, brother. Give me some, dude.
Well, November 14th didn't disappoint. We finally got a buck on the ground. It's been a real tough grind for us. This is what November's all about, spending time out in the outdoors with friends and family. And I couldn't be happier to wrap my tag around this Iowa buck tonight.
Today produced solid action for our team, and those with tags are narrowing their focus. Owen is back after the big typical he calls Uno, and Jared now turns his attention to the river farm that he and Mike Reed own. And as exciting as the action was for the Dykstras, they aren't done, as Father Warren plans to hunt the same stand where his son just tagged out. My situation represents the other end of the spectrum. Still not believing I let the long-awaited opportunity slip through my fingers, and worse, to have wounded the buck, I've lost my will to hunt. I'm sure it will come back, but for now, I'm climbing off the ride, a little worse for wear. You can break the rut into several phases, each characterized by certain behavioral tendencies among the bucks. As we approach the middle of November, the highest number of does are in estrus. This has traditionally been a tough time for us to see mature bucks. They just don't move much. But even though I have taken myself out of the game, the rest of the team hunts hard and holds on to hope. Because as long as there is time on the clock, anything can happen. After all, they are still chasing November.